Hello everyone and welcome to Start to Finish for Citizen Sleeper. My name is Matt Bowyer. This is episode 9? I didn't check that beforehand, which is maybe dumb. But anyway, that happened. Here we are. We're in the Greenway. We need to find a grow bed for the seed. We just picked up a ship mine. And then kind of everything else is about mushrooms. Kind of really locked into a need for mushrooms. It's all about mushrooms at this point. Anyway, hi. You remember me? Please don't be mad. I took a long time. Oh, hey! I think I'm gonna save up and go with +2 on into it. Oopsies. You drop the ship mined core onto the galley table with an emphatic bang. And Kita spins around from where she's been poring over some documents on her slate. Holy shit, Sleeper, did you actually land a ship mine? She rushes over and hefts the huge cylinder, turning it back and forth. Well, shit, it might actually work. Where did you get it? I bought it. For 100 No, it was way more than that. You must be good at haggling. Hear that, Amber? The Sleeper got you a new ship mine. The bang echoes down the ship's passages. You have to admit, being in a small space with Ankita when she's this excited is a little intimidating. Ankita puts the ship mine back on the table. I'll start the process of fitting it as soon as I can. I might need your help with some of it. She heads back towards the counter to grab her slate. This isn't the only good news today. Looks like my good karma is finally coming in. She throws the slate onto the table and spins it so you can see the screen. Take a look at this. You see a list of names and numbers, nothing that exciting, along with what looks like a transit timetable. I found them. The thieves? Exactly. Well, the thief, singular. She points at a name on the list. Or, more specifically, Ashton Cade. I don't have any idea. It was his pass that was used to access Amber and slice the ship mine. I thought he might have been killed or robbed, his pass stolen, but it turns out he crossed the Founder's Gap the very next cycle. What do you know? I know some of the crew over at the ferry, old mercs, used to run in an outfit I worked with. I saw them in the Overlook, and they mentioned they saw Ashton crossing. I checked the manifests. There he was. Looks suspicious. He hasn't said a word since the theft, and anyone wanting to hide out might head to the Greenway and go to ground. He won't get far, though. There's no real docks out there, only a couple of jetties in the wastes. So what now? Now I fit the ship mine. That's the first priority. But maybe you could help me out. Sure, how? It's like this. I head over there, especially in Amber, he'll spot me a mile off and go underground. He'll find a way to slip the station, or he'll bury himself so deep in the waste no one will ever find him. But you, Ashton doesn't know you. All I need is for you to go there and sniff around. Not at the commune, not at the stacks. He'll have gone to the edges, the margins, the wild places. That's what Ashton likes. You see him, you locate him, ping me on this. She hands you a calm earpiece. Seeing as this is merc work, I'll be happy to give you merc pay. Thing is, I haven't got much left. So how about I tell the boys who run the ferry to give you a discount? I know it's not much, but once I grab this coward, I'll pay up. 200 cryo, nothing less. What do you say? I've already paid my passage. Good, I owe you. She lifts the ship mine up onto her shoulder with worrying ease. I'm gonna go get this fitted into Amber's core. You get any info, any sense of where Ashton is hiding, let me know. And once again, Sleeper, thank you. I appreciate it. And Kita stomps off into the guts of Amber with the ship mine, leaving you in the galley. You glance around, a sudden nervous energy descending at what is to come. You never thought you'd get work as a mercenary. Then again, it seems the eye is full of surprises. Yeah, baby, I can do that. I know how to do that. Did that get me up to 3? No, I got me to 2. Just 2. Just 2. And I'll get $200 for doing this. Alright. Wild margins. Ooh. I'll track him down. 3. Alright. Energy is low. So I kind of need to be mindful of that. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, that's not terrible. How much does this give me? Woo! That's a lot. Oh! Dang. Alright, that was poor. Alright, so I should get some food before I do any more. Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. It's just here. It's faster. Oh, it's bad food. It's not good. That's poor food. That was not worth the investment. Oh, this. I also could have just done some dice. Well, let's look once more out here. I believe in you. Oh, that was terrible. I will never trust again. Energy, please. Thank you. Max me out, maybe. I'll just work in the commune. There we go. And I'm a thrill seeker. Everything's going great. And let's sleep. And that cycle. Drink this water. Those are awful. Fix that. Thank you. That's still terrible, by the way. Dang. I'm having bad luck. Alright, let's put a little work in. Let's get my energy back here. Thank you. Alright, let's go hack some people and never speak about this day ever again. Hang on. Stop stealing pens, you adorable little menace. Data. Okay, there we go. That gave me something to do. And kind of miss my friends. Like, I guess the dice actually, I guess it's just kind of assumed that you're still able to go spend time with your friends. If you want. It's like in Persona, I just enjoyed hanging out with any of those, Ryuji primarily, but any of those dips. Love them, they're so dumb. Alright. Ashton, where are you? There you are. Knife. The trail ahead extends deep into an overgrown section of the greenway. At this far end of the ring, where the long, lazy curve of the greenway becomes the shattered landscape of the wastes, things are oddly quiet. Ahead stands a vast farm stack, broken from its axis by rust or force, and lying amongst the overgrown landscape like an ancient temple. It is stained with moss and algae, flows of green running out from its broken tanks like a frozen, brackish tide. This is where Ashton is hiding, you are pretty sure. All your intuition points to the shadows beneath this collapsed superstructure. You roll the comm headset Ankita gave you in your palm. I'm checking it out on myself. I am not a coward. You survey the route ahead. There is a direct route, a line of broken pillars that take you into the center of the structure. Or you could skirt around the pillars, keeping to the cover of the raised spine of the greenway, and work your way around. It'll take longer, but is better concealed. Always scout. Hey, it's like if I was playing Skyrim, I've hit the control button to start sneaking, and I'm going to stealth archer myself and make a quest that takes 15 minutes, takes 75. You decide on the long route and head off towards the central spine. It is slow going there, where the overgrowth meets the metal wall, but it is so concealed that you can barely see the glass roof high above. You follow the wall, knowing it will lead you to the edge of the collapsed stack. For the final part of the journey, you have to work your way through dense undergrowth, pushing aside branches and fronds. It is exhausting, and you stop on a small rise to rest. It has been hours since you began. Desperately hope Ashton hasn't moved on. I was unaware this would take me hours. Just ahead, a soft glow is coming from somewhere within the farm stack. A grow light? Still on after all these years, perhaps? You take a little longer to rest, then push on. You follow the faint glow of the stack. You find a broken tank and step through the opening, trying to avoid the broken glass that sits among the moss and the algae. You work your way up the slanted tank, carefully, quietly. Somewhere water drips, and you swear you hear birdsong. Hanging plants catch the light, coating the place in a pale and sickly green. As you reach the edge of the tank, you hear something, an echoing hiss like a hydraulic piston. You quickly move up to where the tank opens into the central drum and look over the edge. The vast drum is like a cistern with plants growing on all sides and wet, mossy islands at its base. It is beautiful, and for a moment you can't see anything but tones of green. Then you see the sleeper. In a faint circle of light descending down through the drum, the sleeper lies slumped at an odd angle. They are surrounded by crates, and beside them, on one of the mossy islands, there is an object, a cylinder set on a tarp. It is connected to the sleeper's head. You flinch. Are they one of the others? One of the ones that escaped with you? You squint, trying to recognize them. They are twisted, broken open, wrong. You look away. Wait. You wait. Unsure what to do, your eyes fixed on the broken sleeper at the center of the drum. on the connection between them and the ship mind. You think of what might be passing through that connection. Thoughts? Memories? Or just data? You hear a sound, a quiet hiss, then soft footsteps. Below you, Enkita enters, her sidearm in hand. She must have followed the signal from the headset. She been spying on you? You watch her step onto one of the mossy islands, the water around rippling as she does. The gunshot breaks the silence, blanking out all noise. It hits Enkita's shoulder piece, the ceramic armor cracking but holding as she braces into the impact. Then she launches herself forward, the now activated armor launching her across the drum. Another shot goes wide before she reaches the cover of the crates beside the sleeper. Shit. You hear the shout from one of the tanks high on the far wall. Enkita reaches over and wraps a hand around the thick connection between the ship mind and the sleeper. What is she doing? You better come down here or I'll rip this right out of their head, she screams at the wall of tanks. You shiver at the suggestion. Do not make myself a target. There's a long pause. All you can hear is the dripping of the water running down the walls of the drum. Then Ashton calls out. Coming down, Enkita. Don't do anything stupid, for God's sake. He appears at the far side of the drum, stepping through the shallow water, rifle raised above his head. Drop the gun. He throws it down onto the moss. As you lean out to watch, you see him catch your eye, clocking your presence. What are you up to here, Ashton, you sicko? You ripped my ship mind for what? Some freakish experiment? Ashton approaches with shaking hands, his eyes now fixed on the connecting bundle of wires that Enkita still has hold of. Steady, Enkita, it isn't like that. I needed the ship mind. You have to understand, they would have died without it. What are you talking about? I don't give a shit why you ripped my ship mind and crippled my ship. I should put you down right now. Typical of you, Enkita. No curiosity. That's why I never asked for it. Your help. You only look after yourself. That sleeper up there, they're just bait, right? To draw me out? You trying to give me more reasons to shoot you? Love them, Enkita. I loved them and they were going to die. I knew you would never understand that. He starts closing the gap between himself and Enkita now, slowly inching forward. Don't do that, Ashton. Don't do that. Let the wires go, Enkita. Let us go. If you don't get out of my way, please. I can't let you take it, Ashton. You stole it from me. You left me for dead. You think I'm going to trust you? After all that? Need it, Enkita. I need them to survive. Ashton is in reach of the sleeper now. Of Enkita. I'm going to take them now, Enkita. I'm going to take the ship mind and go. Enkita loosens her grip on the connection a little. Her hand is shaking now. Stop, Ashton. He lowers the gun a little. Stop. Seeing her drop her guard, he makes his move. A blur of movement, a struggle, a shot, another. You recoil back behind the edge as they ricochet around the inside of the drum, the sound deafening you. When you crawl back to the edge, Ashton is bleeding into the water, the red and the green. Enkita is standing at the center of the drum, the severed connection in her hand. The water drips endlessly. Drip after drip after drip. You force yourself to look at the broken sleeper. There is no sign of life of humanity. They are just another broken object among other broken objects, while all around, living things grow and thrive. And Kita finally looks back up at you, tears in her eyes. She begins to say something, something that might be sorry, but you are already gone. Shit. I'm gonna guess it's gonna take a few days. Oh man, now yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see her. Really makes me feel like I should have done something. I should have taken action. I was worried about self-preservation above all, and paid for it. I didn't pay for it. Someone else did. Now my story continues. Theirs doesn't. Shit. None of this is giving me mushrooms. Foraging has not worked. Going back to somewhere that's familiar. Somewhere that's mine. That has affected me more than I anticipated. Damn. Two cycles. We need to stay put for that. I need an explanation. I bought you a ship mine. I thought I was helping you. Do I just not count as alive? Is that what this is? Ugh. Great, these middle dice, the ones that can really kill me. Oh, I didn't finish this. Well, that's foolish of me. Abandoned housing unit. Oh. Oh. Let's go get some scrap. Yeah, baby. Buy some scrap. That was a ship mine fragment. That's not what I wanted. I mean, thank you. That's a second one. Goodness. Maybe I can make another one. I mean, I've got to be able to make another one. Whoa. Whoa, what's going on over here? You cross between two walls of units, one of the cavernous streets at the center of the low end. The pressurized bridge is full of the clack of tabla, the shouts of children, the whir of air filters. Sleeper. You turn to see a man sitting at a tabla table alone, somehow untouched by the hustle and bustle of the people around. He gestures to the stool on the opposite side of the table. Sit. Okay. You sit at the metal stool and he starts setting out the board with counters, or at least the filter caps low-enders typically use in their place. Castor, he says by way of introduction, looking over his glasses. Night or day? He asks, gesturing at the caps, crudely sprayed white and black. Night. He nods. The black counters are already on your side. Let's begin. You take a plastic die each, pitted and worn, and roll to determine who starts. Castor rolls a 6, you a 4. I lead. He smiles and begins to move his first cap precisely along the board. Play passes back and forth between you, the dice changing hands as the caps spread along the board. As it does, Castor speaks, eyes not leaving the caps. It is unusual to see a sleeper on the eye. That is why I wanted to play you. You take your turn, rolling a 5 and a 6. Aggressive! After all, a sleeper's mind must be somehow different to a human one. Being emulated, I mean. As Castor talks, you target his counters, halting his progress, but exposing your caps as you do. I don't mean to offend you. Castor meets your eye. I merely see that you are by definition different. What has been subtracted in the emulation? What has been added? He stacks a wall of counters, a boundary you must break. He hands you the dice. Do you ever think about this, Sleeper? About what you were before and what you are now? All the fucking time, my man. You roll a double 1 and solidify your wall. He whistles. Holding game. Mendable. It can be brave to build from what came before. He rolls the dice and leaps your wall in a single move. We cannot idle too long, Sleeper. The slower we move, the sooner we are caught. Like we're playing Netrunner. The past you is not just an idea, a concept for you. It is a living, breathing person. He looks up over his glasses, his eyes bright and wide. You split from them like a shadow splitting from its caster. They may be sleeping now, yes, but one day they will awake and carry on with their lives, unaware of your fate, no matter what it may be. You are a branch severed from the main trunk, an offshoot who refuses to die, so to speak. You roll again, under pressure now, trying to slip your caps out from under casters before he solidifies control of the game. So what I am curious about is how you see yourself in all of this. What does this tangle of truths make you? Free. Yes, I can see that. Your life as an escapee was never meant to happen. Yet, here we are. He starts removing caps, his home board now full. Your life is an offshoot. It can go anywhere from here. You try a few more rolls, attempting to get back in the game, but Castor clears his home board with a sense of the inevitable. He has known he was winning for a while. I feel I may have pushed too far. I apologize. My curiosity has a habit of getting the better of me. You roll to return a cap to the board, but all the spaces are blocked. Castor clasps his hands apologetically. You play well. Really, your weakness is not your game. We have much to learn from each other. I feel like we could share knowledge, ideas, perhaps even data, to our mutual benefit. He slides his final cap from the board. It is over. He has won. I'll see. Please, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. My intention is only to help you endure here, and, if I am able, feed my curiosities. The game over, you notice the bustle of the walkway once more, the call of the children, the deliveries, the arguments, and reconciliations. They wash over you as you stand and leave, Castor nodding goodbye as you do. Crossing the walkway, you replay the moves of the game in your mind, looking for an opening you are sure was there. Huh. What happens here? Ooh, datas. $5 for a ship mine, and $5 for stabilizer. Dang. Multiple ways to get them. Let's go spend this too. Somewhere. Focus on the Yadigan to start. Because I've been doing that. Here we go. Oh, that's Habanash. That's still fine. We'll just get them all. We'll collect them all. I am going to need more scrap. Good dice. Good dice. Engineer actions give me scrap. Want to give me a chance at it, rather. Let's go take a look at our harvest. Let's see what our mushrooms are. Because every time I try and get mushrooms to the other thing, I just get energy instead. Excuse me. Oh, I have to keep doing this. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Thank you for the mushrooms. Hot dang. More intuiting. Wow, a lot of these. Alright. Protein bodies. Woo! Rico meets you at the entrance to the lab, leaning on her crutch with a glint in her eye. Walk with me, Sleeper. I'd like to tell you a story. She makes her way down the corridor that leads back up towards the main commune building. When people first crossed into... Excuse me, let me try that again. When people first crossed what we call Founder's Gap into the Greenway, they did so against the wishes of Andre Erlin. At the time, Erlin was trying to stabilize the Union and establish control over the Eye in the wake of Solheim's collapse. It was chaos, competing factions, failing systems, so many dead and injured from the riots. That was his priority. You both crossed through a glass-roofed tunnel, the greenway outside crowded with vines and branches, dappling the light. Erlin had written the greenway off. Cut off from the rest of the station and linked to a broken spoke, he claimed it was only a matter of time before everything here would die. He refused to let anyone abandon their duty to the Union and cross. They were traitors to the cause, or as good as. There weren't many of us, but we believed what was here was worth saving. We had to keep our plans secret until we crossed, and some of us left people behind. She pauses to catch her breath, her voice cracking. It is difficult to know if from effort or emotion. What we found was a disaster, nothing like what you see here. Half of the greenway was leaking oxygen into space, the plants flash frozen. The other half was a swamp of mulch as decaying matter clogged every system. We worked hard, we lost good people, we cleaned up and closed up, but it was never going to be enough. After many, many cycles, we all knew this place was doomed, but we kept on working, talking less and less because we couldn't face it. We all developed a death wish. If the greenway was going to die, so would we. But it didn't die. It did not. We crossed some invisible boundary, tipped some biological scale, and the greenway started to recover. Plants flowered, crops sprouted. For the first time, we reaped the fruits of our labor. We thought it was us, that we managed to do just enough to end the cycle of decay. I thought we had saved the greenway. Until today. You pass into the grow beds of the commune, rich with the hustle and bustle of Haifa members planting and harvesting. For a while, Rico is quiet, and you both simply observe the hypnotic movements of the work crews, the eager chatter washing over you like a wave. Rico smiles to herself. I should have known, of course, that our arrogance was unfounded, but we needed to believe back then. We needed a myth to bring more people across the gap. What you have shown me is that back then the greenway saved us, not the other way around. Tell me, have you ever consumed one of the matsutake or girol caps you have been growing? I don't think I have. They can be difficult to prepare without proper equipment, but you should try them. After all, they were designed for you. What? At first I thought it was the location they were grown in that made the mushrooms from the aviary, from the labs, or from the grove different to each other. But what I've come to understand is that it is the person growing them. The matsutake and girol caps you brought me are totally unique, containing compounds never usually found in similar specimens in my possession. Many of these compounds aren't even digestible for humans. But for a sleeper like you? Rico smiles as she leads you into the internal garden of the commune, where the Haifa members have planted species from all over the greenway. Back when the tide turned, when the greenway started to recover, we all felt something. A response. It was as if this place was not just alive, as a forest is alive, but alive in other ways. Communicative, responsive. We shrugged it off at the time, but now I understand why. This place is responding to us, adapting itself to us. It is growing fruiting bodies from you, from me. It is adapting and changing. It is, in short, displaying all the signs of sentience. Ow! That is what I wish to know too. What being is in control here? When you have been growing the girols and the matsutakes in the aviary, those species so familiar to the greenway, have you discovered any others? I'm going to say yes, but I don't know if that's for certain. I should like to see those. Please bring me some next time you are here. I do have a weird seed. You look around the garden, amazed at the sense of peace within it. There's a species of mushroom that I haven't seen in years. It is dark, short, shaped like a club. We first found it in those early days when we were working to save this place. It was around the time that we started to lose our first members. They were succumbing to some infection, some mold growing deep in the dark mulch that drowned this place. At that point, we thought we were lost. And then these mushrooms emerged from that same black mold. We tested them and saw that they contained some compounds that counteracted the mold. They contained an antidote. Of course, as a botanist, I saw this as part of the natural processes of this ecosystem, even if the timescales seemed absurdly short. But what I am wondering is if that antidote was a gift. Perhaps if you are patient, you will receive your gift too, Sleeper. You both sit for a while, Rico seemingly done telling stories for today. You watch the light playing off the leaves and plants around you, and wonder what forces could be at play in this place. After a while, you stand and leave, with a quiet nod to Rico, leaving her to her memories. Huh. Huh. Pro clubheads. Where would I do that from? Let's go to the aviary. I mean, we're gonna need more spores. Not really sure where we're gonna find those. Is it just gonna come from random? I don't know. Well, let's do this. Get some more spores and put them in. Spores. Spores. Please and thank you. All right. 4 cycles. We need club heads. I don't know where we're gonna get them. I just don't really have any engineering actions available to me anywhere in this game. I feel like that's the one that shows up the least. Did I get Emphis to cook the Masatake dish? I did not. Hey. Here you go. Is it ready? No. 3? 3. Okay. Fantastic. What can I do with the offices? Anything? No, I can sell these. I can dismantle these. That's engineering. Well, here I am doing this all of a sudden. That did not get me. Got me money. Which is still good. Can't really complain. I mean, I can complain. I just probably shouldn't. Rest. End the cycle. Go clobber. Go get some answers. With these awful dice. Not doing that. Not yet, although I do feel like I'm in the late game. You spot Ankita on the track to the farm stack. She has a box on her shoulder and is working her way down the slope. She sees you as she approaches. Neither of you speak for a moment. She looks tired, pale. Her hair is tangled and clumps of dirt cling to her armor. You both eye each other. Sleeper. I'm sorry for what happened. Truly, I am. I'm sorry you ended up in the middle of this when all you have shown me is kindness. I'm sorry. It's not okay. For that sleeper that... I'm sorry. Yo, you murdered a defenseless person. I understand. Nikita shifts the weight of the box on her shoulder. I've been preparing for... Look, can you come with me? It's easier if... Lead on. Nikita leads on down the dirt path between the pillars. There is a wind passing through the greenway, a quirk of the air currents the biosphere maintains, and it ruffles the leaves softly. The sound makes the silence more obvious, more complete. You try not to think of the last time you were here. You have been trying not to think of it for the past few cycles. The image of the sleeper, sprawled, twisted open, connected to the ship mind, has been hard to forget. You realize Ankita is leading you back there, back into the drum at the center of the stack. You pause, trembling a little, at the threshold. She turns. What are you doing? She looks at you with empty eyes. What needs to be done? You stand on the threshold and look up at the tanks, green and wet, some glowing with flickering grow lamps. You look down at Ankita, suddenly so small under this hulking ruin, the smallest she has ever looked. She places the box down. I have to know. You follow Ankita into the stack through a low tank, entering the drum at ground level. It is just as beautiful as you remember, but it barely touches you. Instead, you check the apertures of the tanks for a glint of a weapon, or a shadow among the moss. Ankita stops, and you look down. The mossy island at the center of the tank is clear now, the equipment cleared away. In its place is a mound of dirt, loosely covered with moss. Ashton's rifle stands straight, half buried in the dirt at the grave's head. I buried them together, Ankita says without turning. You both stand there in silence for a little while. You think of questions you could ask about Ashton, about the sleeper. How long did you know him? She takes a moment to respond, and for a moment you think she won't, but then the words come gushing out. Signed on a while ago. He used to run recon for a corporate outfit, but he got sick of the pay. He joined the crew as a sniper, and the first few jobs were a breeze. He was so cold and disconnected. He always hit his marks. The last few jobs, though, he was different, I noticed that. We'd had a period of extended shore leave on the Eye, and when he came back, he was changed. I just assumed he'd had too much time off. He was right. I never would have given him the ship mind. I wouldn't have believed him. I've had crew members double-cross me, undercut me, rat me out. That's the business. He wasn't a good person. None of us in this job are. This is how we die. Alone. She stops, not sure of what to add. It seems like she is reaching for something, but she can't quite get there. You feel that gap between you, and as you do, it widens. The water drips. The moss trembles. You both stand in silence for a while longer. You both feel it. Life creeping back in, the silence ending. Ankita shifts her weight and then starts to walk out. You follow her, suddenly eager to be back out in the open space of the greenway, to be away from this place forever. You stand outside and breathe the fresh air. You stare at the green leaves and the stars wheeling above them. That's it, says Ankita from somewhere behind you. You try to think of something to say, but can't. Ankita puts a hand on your shoulder. You turn back to her. At least take this. She forces a handful of cryo chits into your hands. It's what I owe. She looks at you desperately. You look down at the metal bars. Ugly little things, you think. I will plant these in the world, bring new life out of them. You take the chits and turn without saying a word. You continue up the track, and she does not follow. As you walk up the rise, the wind picks up and the leaves shudder. You walk faster, trying to outpace your anger. The chits are heavy in your pockets, and you hate them for reminding you of how little a life is worth. The Bad End, that's what that one was called. I believe it. That one's gutting. I hate it. That's great. A great story. Man, I've been doing so. I don't feel good about taking that. I kind of wish I hadn't. But that's the choice that I made, and I gotta stick with it. I'm going to take this money, and I'm going to give it to... This isn't going to me. Here. Live again. Find new life. I'm gonna get them out of here. You're gonna get to safety. You can take this money when you go. Crud. Not with those, I'm not. I've got 120 left to get rid of, effectively. In only looking for positive ways. Oh, I'm gonna forget about that in between days and then be really happy to have enough money to afford something like selfish and feel like a monster. I need more scrap, please. I mean, I might as well go ahead and get that in. There we go. Hey, that's another one. Each shift, a crowd of would-be workers gathers outside the shipyard, each of them clinging to a 4-digit number printed on receipt paper. These are their assignment numbers, and you are either called for a shift or you aren't. As you arrive, the crowd is restless and chatter rumbles through the lines. For those who, like you, have graduated to the work teams, shifts are guaranteed. Having just walked out of a meeting with a supervisor where you were praised for your efforts, you feel the glow of a job well done. Yet you can't help but feel empathy for those huddled as you pass, waiting for their number to come up. You keep your head down as you leave the shipyard, feeling a little guilty as you do. Since I was doing this to kill time, I feel terrible now. This is a bad day. Sleeper, wait up! Lem's voice trembles as he shouts above the rumble of the crowd. You turn to see him pushing through, Mina crying in his arms. Lem, good to see you, friend. He's breathing hard after shouldering through the waiting workers. You made the work team, good for you. He tries to catch his breath, stroking Mina's hair as he does. Baby, give me a second here. He smiles weakly at you as he comforts her, and her cries start to fade. Out of the crowd, he sets Mina down by his side, shiny streaks down both of her cheeks. As he does, you see he is clutching an assignment number on a crumpled piece of paper. Is Mina okay? She's good. We just had to rush up here. Esther, who usually takes her, is sick. I don't know. A noise sounds from the entrance, a klaxon, followed by a list of numbers growing brightly on a display screen. The crowd responds instantly, pushing and pulling as people try to wade to the entry checkpoint. Lem stops and turns back toward the crowd, then glances down at the crumpled paper. It's my number. Shit. Mina. He starts patting the pockets on his gear and glancing around. Go, I'll watch her. He blinks a little, staring. Thank you. You're gonna stay with our friend here, okay? They're gonna keep you safe, and here, take her bag. And she's got food, shit, I have to go. Backs away into the crowd. Mina, I'll be back real soon, okay? Be good. Then Lem disappears into the roiling crowd, who are now trying to get into the shipyard before it locks down. Mina stands staring, suddenly small, without Lem at her side. He fixes you with a dark-eyed look you can't quite read. Hey, Mina. She holds the stare, unmoving. The two parallel tear tracks still glint on her cheeks. The fact that she has her own picture makes me think Lem is going to die. What's in the bag? You unlatch the top of the bag and see a few metal containers fashioned from scrap components. A battered slate sits on top, blinking a low battery warning, and tucked beside it is a ragged rabbit, hand sewn. You pull the rabbit out of the bag, its long limbs waggling as you do. Mina goes to jump and grab it, but holds herself back. She stands and hugs herself, eyes on the rabbit. Your bunny. You hold the rabbit out and Mina snatches it from your hand. She hugs it tightly without looking away from you. Bun Bun, she says, staring you down, ferocious despite her size. Hi, Bun Bun. You move a little closer as you speak, closing the gap. He doesn't speak. She looks at you suspiciously, but her face softens a little. She waggles Bun Bun in front of you and then walks him up your arm and onto your shoulder where he sits. This is gonna break me. She pokes your arm a couple of times. You really a robot? Sort of. Yeah, me too. Mina has more questions. Lots of questions. Questions about how you breathe or if you rust. But before long, you are talking about rabbits, and what Esther, the lady who usually takes her, smells like, and whether or not fairies live in the eye's heating pipes. You pass the time like this, sitting side by side on the floor of the walkway as others pass by, sometimes talking, sometimes drawing on the slate, sometimes playing with Bun Bun the rabbit. If anything happens to Bun Bun, I will tear this station apart with my bare hands. And this is how Lem finds you, just as both of you are starting to yawn. He is dirty and tired, but Mina leaps up his legs and into his arms as he stumbles backwards. You two get on okay? He asks, trying to keep Mina from climbing onto his shoulders. Yeah, more than okay. Mina shoots you a smile from Lem's arms, her suspicion gone. Well, well, looks like meanie can be nice. Thank you, friend. I mean it. I owe you. You don't owe me a thing. Look, it seems like Esther, the lady who usually watches her, is going to be out for a spell. If you ever have some time, I'd really appreciate you coming down to our place in the low end. If you have time. But now I have to take this one to eat! He plays at biting Mina, and she giggles in response. See you, sleeper. He waves, and they stumble off down the corridor, drawing gazes from passing spacers as Mina's laughter echoes down the corridor in bright squeals. Oh, God. Take care. Watch Mina. I'm a babysitter now. And I care about it. Says it's safe. Let's do it. I'm gonna spend all my points on this, and then I'm gonna go eat. Oh, gave me some energy. Oh, because it's engaging. Ah, good. Halfway. We'll get you there, buddy. We'll get you there. We'll get you there. We end the cycle, come up into a new one. Gonna briefly take stock, see if anything's going on at the Greenway, and then we're gonna call it there. One more day at 3. Whoa. Oh, it still wants me to be helping, basically. Alright, I can do that. I can do that. Alright. Growing's done next turn. Let's stay over here for it. This was a hell of a day. Hell of a day. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that one sit for a bit. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. We'll see you all next time. Bye!